Okay, chapter 4. It's more about what happened. So this summer chapter summary is going to be a little bit longer. So let's get started. Father Salviadera had a reason why he was late. The 80-year-old man had grown feeble. His body had failed. He lost his heart. The miles stretched out wearily as he brooded over sad memories and sadder anticipations. The downfall of the missions, the loss over vast estates, the growing power of the ungodly on their land. The final decision of the Land Commission had been a blow to him. He had faith in the ultimate restoration of these great estates to the Church. It was inevitable. He kept long vigils at the Franciscan Monastery in Santa Barbara. He knelt at the stone pavement in the church. He prayed from midnight to dawn. He had visions of the mission establishments reinstated in all their old splendor and glory. He had visions of Indian converts numbering in the tens of thousands. He narrated these visions. He declared that they must come true. He felt that it is a sin to lose confidence. However, year after year, he saw the buildings crumble into ruin. The lands were all taken and sold, resold, settled by greedy speculators. The Indian converts were disappearing, driven back to their original wilderness. The last traces of his noble work were rapidly swept away. His courage faltered and his faith died out. Changes in the manners, customs of his order were also giving him deep pain. He wears sandals, has an empty purse, wears a secular garment. He is not to wear shoes, not to have money, not to wear a gray gown and cowl. Instead, he felt for the people who were suffering for want of them. In vain, the brothers gave him a warm cloak. Instead, he gave it to the first beggar he saw. He met a man who survived his own time. He became a man who survived his own time and the ideas and ideals of it. He felt lonely, bitterness of exile, anguish of friendlessness. He arrived at Senora Moreno's ranch in midsummer. The almond trees had bloomed and the blossoms had fallen. The fruit orchards were a filmy tint of green. The willows were light green. The orange groves were dark and glossy. The hills were covered with lush green vegetation and flowers. Father Salviadera paused many times to see the beautiful scenery. Flowers were treasured by the Franciscans, and St. Francis permitted all decorations which could be made from flowers. Each time he paused, he resumed his slow pace. A long sigh, his eyes cast down. It was sad to know it lost to alien hands, establishing new customs, new laws. He saw tokens of the settling up of the country, opening new farms, growing new towns, Americans pouring in, reaping the benefits of their new possessions. As he approached the Moreno Rancho, he felt as though he was coming up to one of the last strongholds of the Catholic faith left in the country. When he was within a couple of miles of the property, he took a shortcut. It was overgrown with wild mustard plants. He surmised that no one passed through these over the past year. As he passed through this thicket, he heard a woman's voice singing the Canticle of the Sun. The woman was Ramona. He exclaimed, "Ramona, the blessed child." Ramona was beautiful. She had enough olive tint to underlie and enrich her skin without making it dark-skinned. Her hair was heavy and black like her mother's, but her eyes were steely blue like her father's. Her eyebrows and eyelashes were black as night. She said that she knew he would take that path, and something told her that he was near. She sprang forward, sank on her knees, bowing her head for his blessing. He replied back, asking if everything was all right. She gave him an update on Felipe's condition, but that he had been up and about for the past 10 days, anxiously waiting for the sheep shearing. He then asked about Senora. She replied that she is well. She asked about him, noting the stout staff that he used to steady himself. She said that he must be very tired. He admitted that he is tired. He doesn't have many years left. She offered one of Senora's horses. He refused, saying, "It's the rule of his order to walk." He mentioned that Father Junipero walked from San Diego to Monterey with an ulcer in his leg. Instead, he must walk diligently, since he cannot walk swiftly. She told him that Felipe is in the willows. She told him that she was coming to meet Father Salviadera. Although Felipe laughed at her, he would see that she was telling the truth. When Felipe looked up, he saw both of them. He immediately stopped cutting the willows, threw down his knife, hastened to meet them. He dropped on his knees. She thought that Felipe is beautiful. It isn't any wonder Senora loves him. If she had been beautiful like him, then surely Senora would love her too. When Felipe saw her looking at him, he couldn't tell her any of the loving things his heart had been full. He didn't have any idea that she thought his brown eyes were handsome than blue eyes. She wished her eyes were the same color as Felipe. As they approached the house, she saw Margarita was in trouble, so she kissed Father Salviadera's hands, ran toward Margarita. Ramona asked Margarita what was the matter. Margarita dropped the mass of crumpled and stained linen at her feet. Margarita explained she was supposed to wash and dry the linen 2 days ago. Instead, she forgot, hung it on the fence. She was only gone for half an hour. However, the wind blew it onto the ground, where it is now soiled. When Ramona looked at it, she saw that it's not as bad as it looks. She would do the best she can so the tear won't show. After Father leaves, she will give it the proper fixing. Luckily for Margarita, Ramona didn't come across anyone on her way to get the linen cleaned. Senora met Father Salviadera at the front steps of her rancho to catch up. Felipe went to find Juan Can. Senora had already sent the messenger to the Temecula Indians because they couldn't delay the sheep shearing any longer. The kitchen was busy since they had the guests coming into the house. Marta put meatballs in the soup. She thought if the father refuses to eat it, then he will look at it. They also added some cabbage. Margarita added only 1 onion to the pot. Marta corrected, saying that they always add 2 when the father arrives. The dining room was on the side of the courtyard opposite the kitchen, so the staff went back and forth between the 2 rooms. Margarita was still beside herself over the soiled linen. However, she made certain to seize a lighted candle from the kitchen to the statue of Saint Francis of Paul in her bedroom. Quickly whispered a prayer for the linen that might be fixable in a short notice. At last, supper was ready. A dish of spiced beef and cabbage was at the center of the table. A deep-covered dish of thick soup with meatballs and red peppers, 2 red earthen platters, one with boiled rice and onions, the other with delicious frijole beans. Cut glass dishes with hot stewed pears or preserved quinces or grape jelly. Plates of frosted cakes and a steaming tea kettle. Senora asked, "Where's Ramona?" "Margarita, tell Ramona that we are waiting." Margarita trembled and her face was flushed and was about to leave. Felipe told Margarita to stay put. He said Ramona's job starts tomorrow and they would not wait for her. Before dinner, Felipe saw what Ramona was doing and Ramona requested that they not wait for her. Ramona was able to skillfully mend the linen. After she ran through the garden and reached the brook, she started washing the cloth. She did not realize there was a man behind the willow tree who was looking at her. His name is Alessandro, son of Pablo Assis, captain of the sheep shearing band. The comb that was in her hair fell, and her hair fell to her waist. She put the comb back into her pocket. Her hair was in disorder. Her sleeves were pinned loosely on her shoulders. Her face was aglow with the task before her. She bent low over the stones, rinsing the linen up and down. The sunbeams played with her hair. The entire place was aglow with red light. Her face was set afire with her transcendent beauty. His senses left him as he gazed. So as with all of these videos, questions, comments, constructive criticisms, let me know. Ask for clarification, and I shall see you next time. Take care.